Hi all, welcome to my channel TechFest. Today we are learning the fifth design principle of a solid design principle, that is dependency inversion principle. In this video we are covering what is basically the dependency inversion principle and what are the advantages and disadvantages of this design principle, and then after we will cover some interview questions which are related with the dependency inversion principle, and then we will discuss how we can implement this dependency inversion principle and what are the problems where we can use this dependency inversion principle to resolve that, and how we can implement that part in coding. So let's just start. Dependency inversion principle is basically the fifth principle of a solid design principle. In a solid, D is acronym as dependency inversion principle. So this design principle basically depend upon the two concepts. The first one is that high level modules should not be depend upon lower level modules, and they should be depend upon the abstractions. So at any point of time the high level modules will always uh, depends upon abstractions. There would be no dependency on lower level modules exist, and lower level modules also depends upon the abstractions. So either high level or low level, both will depend upon the abstractions. Then there would be the second concept is that the abstraction should not be depend upon details. uh, Always the details should be depend upon the abstractions. We can understand when we see the coding examples. uh, there would be advantages and disadvantages also there. The advantages are there, the class is basically not tightly coupled with the lower tier objects. So when we defining the classes, in that there would be no tightly coupling happening with the lower tier objects, and by using this code we can make it a reusable code. So that makes a big code or methods uh, which are reusable, which cannot be tightly coupled. It can be better understand with the coding example. So yeah. And there would be a disadvantages also when we are using this dependency inversion principles. Basically it will make bit complex for mock tools when we are writing unit test cases. If anyone knowing about the unit test cases, there would be a different tools uh, which are using to write a unit test cases. One of the tool is Mockito, then EgMock is also there. So in both the tools, whatever the dependency dependent lower level objects exist, uh, we have to mock those objects. This can be better understand by the example. Suppose we have an class A, and there would be a one method in a class A do calculations, and there is also a class B whose reference is present in a class A. So whenever we are writing a test case for a do calculation method, we have to create an object of class A. So while making an object of class A, we need a reference of class B also. So in a Mockito, we can make a mock of class B object, so that we can make create an object of class A. It can be better understand when we do the coding. So this is a bit complex structure there. Then there would be some interview questions are there. What is the dependency inversion principle? Short form is the DIP, and then how can we implement this in our applications? So this we can cover up in coding part. Then what all the advantages and disadvantages of DIP principles is there. Then the most important questions or frequently asked questions is that What is the difference between dependency inversion and dependency injections? So that part is also we can cover when we do the coding. Basically, the basic difference is that in dependency inversion we are talking about lower level object and higher level modules, and our lower level modules both are depend upon the abstractions. So in dependency injections, we are forcibly injecting some object into a class or referencing object into a class. It can be better understand with the examples, so we can again discuss when we are do the codings, or we are going to be implementing the design pattern. So let's just start.